best as possible and have an informed perspective to these issues. My name is Esther Wachiko once again. Thank you for joining us. We actually stream on YouTube live at VOP 903 FM. So for now, you'll be hearing my voice because my guest or my analyst to join us are still on the road. Unfortunately, they're trapped in traffic. A couple of hitches took place. So that means in the course of the conversation, they would come in. But I promise for us to start reacting or responding to issues as early as 8 o'clock. One of the person that is actually supposed to come join us on the program, or who is actually on the road, is Are Oladotun Hassan. He is the leader of the Yoruba Youth Council worldwide, and there are endemic issues that we're meant to discuss today. I really would have loved him to be here because it's a deep one, and sometimes when we get into this conversation, time does not permit us. What is the conversation about? Ever since the 2023 general elections, I will not lie to you, the political tension in the country has been terrible. It's been so rife. A couple of us are really engaged in our day-to-day activity, and we may not really know how deep the the ethnic tension has gotten to because of propaganda narratives being put out there between certain individuals, either those in support of the government, those in support of their different principles and their different political parties. But it had gotten so deep that I don't know how to explain if the country's unity has gone further in being frayed as it was ever since the Civil War. Nigerians try to, recalibrate, reorganize themselves. The formed unity that we have tried to achieve all this while seems to have devolved further with the kind of hate narratives that you go across and meet on social media. And we may think that it is nothing significant. It's insignificant because we think that it has not started realistically manifesting itself. And I want to tell you that it is realistically manifesting itself, whether you try to acknowledge it or not. And the question is, how did this start? Who's initiated this concept because of our political differences or our different ideological differences in our political inclination? Who started it off? What happened? When did it become this bad? And especially when you had persons working for the government promoting this kind of division amongst ourselves, when there are pressing challenges of insecurity, pressing challenges of not having access to food, pressing challenges of development, pressing challenges of our economic viability, pressing challenges of our young persons who have a productive age range traveling out of the country to contribute to the geometry of that nation, and we're still here wallowing. A situation where we have a deplorative educational system in some aspects of the country. A lot is actually happening, and politics has created a certain division. Ethnic sentiment has worsened, and the things that were meant to hold the government accountable for is lost. So you have the Mokwa flooding that took place 2 or 3 days ago. You go on social media, it's Yoruba fighting Igbo or Igbo fighting Yoruba. You have economic challenges in the country, banditry, insurrection, insurgency, evisceration of residents in Benue State. You go on social media, it's Yoruba fighting Igbo. You also see a situation where just wasn't a very prominent individuals have been murdered. What do you call this thing? Ransoms are being asked on behalf of these persons, and it's unfortunate because I'm surprised that a lot of people are not talking about what is going on in that community. The state governor is not even, I don't know if he doesn't even know what is happening there. There are talks that there is no security presence in that community because it burnt down police stations. And they come and harass you and ask you if you don't join their agenda for the realization of Biafra or whatever, you could be killed or you could be murdered. One person gave a testimony of how his life was almost killed and how some of his family members have been killed in this whole thing. Got to the point that he was even traced to Lagos. And I know that a couple of persons will say this is a conversation that's not meant to be had here because it's a very sensitive conversation. I would call one of the analysts on the road so we can start off the conversation or a bit of what they have to say and maybe counter or make recommendations to some of the things that they're going to contribute.
It led us forward. At least a lot of transparency. You were sure of what was going on. Then we came back to meet people like you and others and the current one, and things got worse. So you don't know whether to say we are progressing or we are regressing.
Right.
You just don't know. What do we do that Nigeria as a country did today? We can't have electoral reform in a country like Nigeria. So you begin to bother, are we moving forward? The answer I get in my head is, in some areas, yes, in other areas, no. It's complete. There's a state capture using the electoral institution as a machine. And should that be? Honestly, ask yourself the question. Should that be?
I mean,
I wish that. Honestly, ask yourself the question. Should
well,
that be?
I mean,
I wish that.
That is something that's happened in the last.
I mean, there are a few
2
things
years. Like
that people could applaud.
All right, I'm sure you heard the voice of the anchor person right there during the course of the conversation. I would like to call Ara Oladoto Hassan to speak briefly. I will also be calling Barrister Darlington as well in the course of the conversation, so that we have a balanced reaction or a balanced perspective to the conversation that we want to have as briefly as possible. It's quite unfortunate again that when he's supposed to come on the program, he's either stuck in traffic or he's not here yet. Hello, good evening. Hello. All right, we're trying to establish. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear.
Hello, can you hear
Good
me?
evening. Yes, good evening. I can hear you.
Okay. Are you close by now, or you're still very far away?
Yeah, I'm a bit far, but I'll definitely
Well,
be there.
then it means that before
travel.
reaction, you may not be able to get here. I told
Yes,
you.
I will still get there. I will still. I'll still be able to
I
make
told you
it.
to leave earlier because this is Ilea period, so the road will definitely be very busy. All right, let's speak briefly on. We had a couple of conversations, I think, 2 days ago, where we talked about the unity of the country and what is currently at play. So you sent me a letter that you wrote. You are the global president, Yoruba Council Worldwide, and you wrote a letter very recently addressing some issues. And you mentioned, so you said some intricate things. You said that our governments must draw the line, as well as our kings must rise to defend our race from extinction threats. What is in being proud of our esteemed Yorubaness, while some disgruntled Igbo social media truancy elements will come into a private DM to threaten Iyalode Adeyinka Bello, most surprisingly, is to do this most despicable act in Yoruba land. So let me start off. What actually happened that made you write this letter to Mazi Senator John Azuta Mbata, the President General Ohaneze Indibo Worldwide? Very briefly, please.
Of the colonial masters are still hunting us, and I believe the incurable mentality amongst our people, both from the Yoruba, Hausa, Fulani, the Igbos, and all that, there is no way, no how we can say all is well with the unity of this country. Vis-a-vis of promoting or the X platform, the Twitter platform, to go haywire and wide, attacking Yalode Adeyinka Bello, whereby threat of being killed, threat of us looking about, threat of calling Yoruba different awful names. And awful names are the whereby if every average Yoruba has the opportunity to go read those comments, can signal another ethno-religious violence that can
so you're saying that basically because she embraced where she comes from, her origin, persons started attacking her just like that?
I sent you the evidences of all these attacks, not that persons were just attacking. These are evidence of posts which I sent you along the letter I wrote to the president of Ohaneze Indigo Worldwide. Because we are contemporaries and we believe that there is a need to begin to call ourselves to order. Elite in Yoruba land are not
No,
the social
Ira, you
media
can't say
enthusiasts.
that. Now, let's be honest
I'm
and
coming.
objective.
I'm
You
coming.
can't say that.
It is
Because
only in the
it is,
Gen
sir,
Let me
wait, hold
come.
on, sir,
Let
I'm
me come
coming.
to the
It is
understanding.
esteemed, wait, sir, it is esteemed to be known that the Southwesterners are the supposedly most educated. When it even comes to the media
I'm not
establishment
talking
and the
about being
press, sir,
educated
wait,
now.
when it
I'm
comes to the
talking
media
about
and the press,
social media
they own
mob. I'm
majority
talking
of it.
about
Then when it
social
comes
media
to
mob attack.
utilizing
Let me
social
tell you one
media
thing.
for information,
Wait,
you can't say that it
Let me
comes
tell you
from
one
the
thing.
from the Igbos. You
If
can't
you
just put it like that.
if you wouldn't want me to say it the way it is,
No,
then
no,
I'll keep
Aaron, you're
quiet.
generalizing. You can't make
No,
what
I'm not
survey did you
generalizing.
what
I want
survey
to
now?
make a
What
point. Let me
where
make
are you
my
basing
point
your
first.
survey from?
When we talk about these venomous comments, if the Yorubas, I'm just giving you this hint. If average of the amount of Igbos that we have on social media that are making those venomous comments are equal to that of the Yoruba, you see it on the street the next morning. I must tell you that it will breed that reaction that we are not expecting in the street. So, but in order to curb it fast enough, that's why I put out the letter to the president to please call the Igbo people to order. When people make obnoxious comments, we condemn it. We don't. For me, you would have seen it. Is a recent situation that just happened last
the
week.
question I'm asking you, this
Wait,
disparity and
I'm
this
talking
disunity.
about this Bello. Let's talk about this Bello alone. If we take it out of Bello context, we might be going
You've taken it out of
haywire
the context when you said the number of social media users are more of Igbos than Yorubas.
Because go and look at the reaction. Go and look at the reaction. It is this Bello matter now that is now bringing the reaction of the Yorubas now. Is awakening a lot of people on the internet now. People are now
this
more
matter has been on for a long time. Maybe you've not been current on social media. Oh.
I know that before now that people will talk. Even me myself, I'm a victim of mobile assault on the social media. I wouldn't just want to say those things because I'm a leader. But when our people who are just an innocent lady making an innocent statement, somebody will not go to his DM and say, I will kill you for being a Yoruba person. Watch your back. If it were to be in Eastern land, would attack you in your place of work. And it's what do you make of such statement? So now I'm not expressing that anger. Okay. That if this anger is not properly expressed the way we are saying it now, what if we do not express it and we kept it in our mind together? Must we now fracture ourselves into unnecessary hatred? Now, let's ask ourselves, why did we have to even grow this hatred? This hatred came as a result of transgenerational history. What people, the old wounds, people wouldn't want to just forgive and move on. Everybody is just looking for a pound of flesh. And the more you ask for your pound of flesh, this crisis. And I told him, handshake across the Niger through summit will not end it. We need to orientate our people, both in Yoruba land, the Hausa Fulani needs to orientate their people. People thinking by invasion, taking over land, will give you right of absolutism in a territory. It won't happen. When people say Lagos is a no man's land, when you actually know that it is Yoruba land, and you now come there and begin to attract that, no, we all own it together. We have your right of ownership of your property. But when we talk about ancestral right, I cannot go to Enugu and claim indigenous of an Enugu local government. It doesn't make sense.
Hello, Ara. Go, you were saying something because I have Pastor Darlington via the telephone. I would like him to also respond to some of the things that you have actually said, because it's a situation that is both line of the divide. You hear the Igbos say that it's the Yorubas that started the hatred and the ethnic slurs and all whatnot. Some people feel it's state sponsored. Some people feel that the whole thing was triggered by I asked you the question, do you think it is state sponsored? Do you think it's an FG sponsored thing? When Bayo Onanuga came out to make the statement he made, literally calling out the Igbos not to get involved in Lagos politics, attacks, blaming a certain group of persons for issues that happened in the country most of the time. Then you also have aides of these agents to make the same kind of statements. Meanwhile, there are challenging issues, specifically insecurity, coming from a region that everyone knows, but nobody mentions it. So my question is, where did these attacks have gotten so much? You don't come to people's lands and say it's no man's land and all whatnot. So how would you respond to him and respond to this issue?
Yeah, Esther, I will say that your guess is economical with the truth.
Okay.
He's not saying the whole truth, and it's unfortunate. In the first place, Esther, remember what happened during and after the war.
Okay.
Thank God, a book has been written by Babangida, a player during that period, who exonerated the Igbos of all the accusations. It's on record. Talking of tribal sentiment and others, who started it, Esther? It was Awolowo. It was Awolowo. When Zik won the election in the Southwest to become the leader of the Southwest, Awolowo got angry and started preaching tribalism. And that the Igbos will not allow to take part in the Lagos election any other time in the future. Esther, did anybody in the Southeast reply him or say anything? We moved on. So when you're talking about people who have not, they are the ones who have not moved on. Your guests are the ones who have not moved on. He's the one. You can see. You will know all the things that happened to the Igbos here during June 12th. Whenever the OPC were quarreling with the Hausas at the Araba or even Alabarago, they will settle their quarrel with the Igbos. Meanwhile, it was Babangida who annulled an election won by Yoruba man. Esther, did we retaliate? Ask your guests. Let him mention that day in the history of this country where the Igbos started sacking anybody from the Southeast, killing everybody. Don't we have Yorubas in the Southeast? Let him go to Onitsha, let him go to Aba, let him go to Enugu.
All right.
We did it. So why is he talking about this thing now? Look, Esther, hold on. The person that wrote whatever in social media, can he tell me, can he swear by any God that he is sure that those things were written by the Igbos?
No, they're actually resident in South Africa. All right, are you there, please? Are you on the telephone?
Yes, I'm listening to you, but I'm not happy. Let me tell you, you will be a victim one day yourself.
All right,
I will be a victim one day.
I'm trying to focus on who do you think are the sponsors of this recent resurgence in ethnic bigotry, one? And then two, for example, if we look at the population of supposedly persons who reside in Lagos precisely, wouldn't you say that the group of persons you're talking about are not even up to quarter of the number of persons who reside in this Lagos? I'm just trying to ask.
No, let me tell you one thing. There's a security situation in the Southeast that have made majority of people to move down to the South. Want our people outside here to reduce and stop that abusive tendency that they can be in their room and spend anything on the social media. Social media doesn't erase history. It doesn't erase your post. It will be there 20, 100 years to come. Okay. When generation begins to go into war, those are the things they will go and begin to point out.
So I asked you a question that the DSS, the NIA, the National Orientation Agency, why has none of them spoken about what is going on, like you said?
Of my people, and I found something that is very wrong. Even if the people that were arguing are two Yorubas, you don't remove one because that one favors you, and the other person, yes, you guys can take it as an opportunity. But these same people have gone very wide to abuse the Professor Oke on that same platform as Igbo people, and they dredge a lot of abuses on him. I need to equally go in and rescue that we don't need all this on the social media platform.
All right.
But this is just an example of one stage. Do you realize that this Madam Bello's case was being discussed at every fora, that our life is under threat because people are living in Yoruba land are threatening a Yoruba person in Yoruba land?
You just mentioned that they're in South Africa. They're not in Lagos. You just said the people who actually did that reside in South Africa.
No, not only South Africa. People are based in Lagos. The person that threatened that, one of them is from South Africa. I identified all the names in my letter You saw it in my letter.
That's
the
what
one that was from the South Africa. I identified their names very, very clearly. So my letter is very clear from festering on mitigated issues like this nature. Why we are calling ourselves to order is not for us to validate that what a Yoruba when we appeal the Igbo man that will kill you, will maybe don't participate. Igbo man should participate in politics. They have right to participate in a democratic environment. But when what you cannot allow us in your land, let me tell you the reality. Have you seen a Yoruba man going to Abia State to go and campaign as a member of House of Assembly? But in Yoruba land, you have reps,
a couple of them
members,
are actually.
People value intermarital affairs between the Igbos and the Yorubas.
That's social media. And it's coming from a propaganda angle.
If you do not stop it, let me tell you.
It's
if
not
you
a
do not stop it, I will lament too much. If we are talking about the ailment rather than solutions, I don't think we are really ready for this conversation.
No, you're making generalizations. The areas where you make generalizations, I try to bring you back to the fact that
I don't generalize. Let me tell you, the reality scares you. Maybe I wouldn't say it more than this. The reality scares all of us in the face. But when I say it the way it is, and when Darlington is now reminding me that I forget something, and I reminded him just one out of many.
All right.
Who will now want to wait for a renowned doctor in a university who have not made any obnoxious statements and you just go mobbing her, different names?
We know how much we have tolerated and endured. All this time that we are the most accommodating, so what happened to the people of the Southeast? We are not accommodating, Abi. You know how many times the Igbos have killed in this Lagos for whatever, especially during the Ghanaian dance OPC. Nobody talked about that up to today. Did we retaliate in the Southeast? I have asked him a question. Let him tell us that time that the Igbos started killing Yorubas or Hausas in the Southeast. He could not answer me. So this social media thing, who started it? All the people that APC paid, who are their social media rats that are stoking these embers of war, they cannot address them, Abi. Esther, you mean they don't know them? Okay, let us go back to the basics now. Esther, please. Who are the people that surrounded the Southwest? Killing their people, killing the Yorubas in their farmland, raping their women. There are some places in Yoruba land today that no Yoruba man can enter. You are not
fray the growth of the nation. The president is not the president of a specific region or a specific ethnic group. The president is the president of everybody. So how should this be curbed? I have asked, what is the DSS doing about it? The National Orientation Agency, the Nigerian Intelligence Agency, monitoring all of this on social media. Because this is bad, this is dirty, this is acidic. It is not healthy for the sanity of the nation. Okay.
If Tinubu wanted to unite Nigeria, will he be treating the Igbo the way? Look at Nnamdi Kanu being persecuted.
Barrister Darlington, you cannot use Nnamdi Kanu as a talisman. No, let's not bring that into the equation, please. Barrister Darlington.
Hold on. Shawara have been let off the hook. Is that not true?
Okay.
Some people have been let off the hook. Is that not true? Is it not the same agitation that they were carrying out that Nnamdi Kanu is talking about? The same agitation. Is that not what is the problem here? Why can't they let him go? Even when the court has said let him go, they still hurt him. Esther, did we agitate on the riot? What's them? Esther was Yakubu in Ajawa State. You only said that if they cannot be protected, remember where the statement is coming from. Because people property we are being destroyed. And nobody said like the man said, look, if we cannot be protected in Lagos, we can bring IPOC to come and protect us. That was the only thing he said, though. Is that not true, Esther? Then is that not true? The Putin is not fair. This is not fair. I've been had to reprimand you, but this appointment that you shut out the party is not fair. Totu did not see that, he did not hear that to people that want to unite Nigeria. Why is it that they will not accept their mistakes? Look at what they are telling P2B. Esther, you know what P2B suffered in this Lagos. If P2B even said something that will bring progress in Nigeria, you see how the Southwest will attack him, especially by your Nonoga. And Totu saw all this, so he couldn't tell them that this is not fair. Tell me. It's important. Is it people that surrounded the Southwest, raping their women, killing them in their farms? What are you telling me? Kidnapping them? Is it Igbos? Let him answer me now. Then let their problem and they are disturbing the Igbos every time. What kind of rubbish on now? Somebody wrote something on social media. Are you sure it's an Igbo man? Are you sure? If somebody writes something and somebody comes to kill in your house, which one is more provocative? Who is calling for war here now? Somebody came all the way from the north, come to your land here, kill you in your house, in your farm. And you do not say anything, you don't do anything. You saw how they threatened Tinubu's wife, that they should kill her, she's an infidel. Doku did not write letter. Doku did not write letter to those people. He did not. No Yoruba man replied him. None of them said any word.
About the differences and or whatnot. Although there were some statistical narratives he gave which did not have any foundational root, because if you cannot give a basis on your survey, you can't generalize and say that's what it is. Now I now called Barrister Darlington because obviously when this kind of conversations are had, you need to balance it. Now, do you think, the question I was asking is, do you think this is state-sponsored? Do you think politicians are the ones enabling this? And if that is the case, how come the youth, the young population do not know this, that they have gotten themselves so immersed in it, they've...
Neighbor is not your problem. Your Hausa neighbor is not your problem. Your Fulani neighbor is not your problem. I have friends from across the entire country. My best friend, my childhood friend, Kano, look, Nigerians are hospitable people, we're friendly people, we're good people, regardless of what your tribe is, what your ethnicity is. We're just good people. In fact, we're ordinary human beings. There's good in every human.
Exactly. And there's also bad in every human.
In every human, regardless of race, tribe, color. So all of this ethnicity nonsense, it's absolute rubbish. It's mumbo jumbo. It's been done deliberately so that we can fight ourselves. Look, I was telling some people this afternoon, every single time, Esther, in the last, let's just limit it to 5 years, please go on social media and find hashtags that have trended sufficiently, and you find that once an issue trends sufficiently and Nigerians are united behind it,
something comes
government shifts. They always shift. They're afraid of us. So, in order to ensure that we don't unite behind the key issues, they talk about ethnicity and religion. They talk about Muslim tickets.
That now happens. Where would the military face? What would they do?
It's done. I mean, if the worst that we all fear when we warn against these types of things happens, then it's over.
I mean,
Nigeria
there was an
will just simply be consumed.
Nigerian children is number 2, malnourished children, number 2 in Africa.
Absolutely.
Nigerian children is number 2, malnourished children, number 2 in Africa.
Absolutely. Shocking and disgraceful.
No, number 1 in Africa, actually.
Number 1.
And number 2 globally.
Worse than Sudan.
Worse than Sudan, that is actually at war. This is a major issue, and we're supposedly not at war per se. So if that kind of situation develops, what will then take place? So my issue is, aren't those government agencies, are they not seeing this to caution it? Do you know if you go to Uganda, you can't, if you understand what I'm saying?
I get you, and I think that the issue is a bit beyond the mandate of the orientation agency. Tatals, and all of that. When a Hausa incumbent that was put there by Buhari leaves, almost invariably, more often than not, it's a Yoruba man that goes there. So the president has not done well in terms of trying
that federal character representation.
Yes, to ensure that you recognize the complexity of the Nigerian society. That we have more than 250 ethnic groups, and they all are Nigerians, and they all own Nigeria. They all belong equally. The fact that Yoruba people are larger in population, Hausa are larger in population, across board. The president has failed very badly in that, and he doesn't understand. What he fails to understand
he doesn't understand, or it's not. Are you sure it's
he
not
doesn't care. We have to be careful. We've got to strike a balance that ensure that we don't overly emphasize the differences.
No, this conversation needs to be had, because it needs to be had. It's a very serious one.
Yes.
And everyone is thinking it's just social media banter, social media whatever. we, as the fourth estate of the realm, it's our job to try as much as possible. If the government says it behoves on you, the media, to ensure you pitch and promote unity, I expect the government to do their own best about it.
Absolutely.
It's become so bad that conversations on air is so sensitive, and it needs to be had.
We have to talk about these things.
I am a Nigerian.
Absolutely.
I grew up my teenage years in the north. That's basically where I did all my secondary school up until I was like 17 years. Before I came back to Lagos. I said
If it is 80% of building is built by Yorubas, we pick them here. They will do it. We don't use our people to build all these edifices in my area. I'm telling you, I'm not lying. Ask anybody from Igbo land. They will tell you this. So, Esther, it pains me if the elites are bringing issues of tribalism. They are causing a lot of problems. These elites.
it is. Please go ahead.
Esther, let me jump into the matter.
Okay.
This is a very nice discussion. We have tribalized everything. The person that you first discussed with, even though he was trying to, discuss the issue in a way that it was sounding so tribal. So there's no way he can convince me the way he was going about it. Again, the issue that we are having in this country presently is the government. They have failed on their duty. All the agencies that are supposed to handle this matter, they have gone moribund. They are not doing anything.
Exactly.
Esther, you see, when you look at individuals,
those are people stalking the members of tribal
I'm
war.
telling you, especially
Even this man being interviewed on
Shocking.
right to be, he tries to gaslight the time. This man you interviewed,
what he said in the past, that was a
Yes.
statement he made pre the
Yes.
elections, yeah.
Yes, that Opitobi is a Christian, and what they call him, the Northern Kaduna or sort of Southern Kaduna,
Will
they
not
are
vote for
Christians
him.
here, that Opitobi cannot get anything or something. Why all this statement? Why they hate Igbo people?
Well,
Please call them and tell them that they should leave Igbo people
he
alone.
has changed now. You see that they want to partner. All right, let me take other calls, okay? Thank you very much. 080-3692-9933. 080-3692-9933. Hello, good evening. How are you?
Hello, good evening, Esther.
Good evening, sir. What's your name, please?
My name is Shola. I'm calling from Ekeda.
Shola
I
from
greet
Ekeda.
for a greeting. I give him kudos for the maturity.
Thank you very
See,
much.
that's what we did in Nigeria. I would say this man.
Continue Adams, OPC man. If you see that man talk, he talks with love. Continue Adams doesn't divide anybody. I've been with him. I know his answer. If you see him talk, he talks with love. But this man, my brother, I give you that position from today. Who is in the studio? Take it. Receive it. I said receive it immediately.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. All right. How are you, Kudos? Victor, welcome.
All right. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm very fine tonight.
Welcome. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much,
You met
Esther.
a heated atmosphere.
Is it?
You met the atmosphere heated.
It's very, very hot. And that's why we need to calm it down.
Exactly.
So
Go
that
ahead.
everyone can start seeing the other way around
Yeah.
the whole conversation.
Exactly.
Okay, so I'm here to talk about property investment and the reason why you need to own a landed property in Nigeria. In fact, land is the only investment that can stand the test of time. It's the only transferable investment that can outlive generation. So if you've not gotten a plot of land anywhere in Nigeria today, that is why I am here for you. So let me quickly mention all our Ikurudu. The name of the estate is Kudos City Agbowa Ikurudu, and it's going for just 1.5 million naira per plot. So if you want to get a plot, it's just we have Kudos Heritage. Now Kudos Heritage is still on promo, so because we'll be using this promo to mark our next allocation that will be coming up on the 14th of June. So next week, Saturday, we'll be having another allocation. In fact, when you buy land from us, we make sure that we allocate you, we give you your property. Okay. We don't like wasting time when we are doing to do our allocation. So Kudos Heritage is still on the promo. Now, the promo that we are doing, if instead of 2.5 million naira, we are leaving it for those that are celebrating Ilya, and we are also waiting for more people to own properties here in Lagos. So instead of 2.5 million naira, you can own Kudos Heritage with just 9.
So, Mr. Shagun Shopito. Here on Friday, please. I know that there are more conversations because you guys came in late, so yeah. I was trying to see if you guys would come in on time because I knew the conversation was going to get to this point, and I sincerely do apologize for not being able to read your messages and take a lot of your calls, but we needed to have this conversation whether we like it or not. So how would you, based on